Boomerang, the romantic comedy which was released in 1992, sees Eddie Murphy return to the screen for the first time 2 years after the release of 1990's Another 40 Hours. Boomerang features a host of Black Hollywood's finest talent, including Robin Givens, Halle Berry, Grace Jones, Geoffrey Holder, Eartha Kitt, Martin Lawrence, David Alan Grier, and a young Chris Rock. Boomerang is a clever comedy that tells the story of Marcus Graham, played by Murphy, a womanizing advertising executive who meets his match when he falls for his boss, Jacqueline Breuer, played by Robin Givens, who is a stunning executive who is the female version of Marcus, who treats him the same way that Marcus treats women. As always guys, before we go any further, I want you to hit that subscribe button so you can follow this channel, hit the alarm bell as well so you get notifications when my video is going to be uploaded, and give this video a like as well to help the channel grow. Boomerang at the time was a landmark film. Before Black Panther, this is one of the first big budget films with an all-black cast and a black director that showed black people in a positive light. Boomerang takes place in an all-black advertising firm with blacks in top-ranking positions. At the time of its release, Boomerang drew criticism for what many considered to be an unrealistic depiction of blacks in the middle class and black corporations. But in 1992, the top 100 black-owned companies in America generated $7.9 billion in revenue. And in 1992, 258 black-owned companies were on the Fortune 500 list of the largest corporations in America. Boomerang was a groundbreaking film. We get a different style of Eddie Murphy compared to his previous performances. He's not as high-octane or as profane as he has been in his previous works, such as 48 Hours, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop. His raucous stand-up material, delirious and raw. No, we get a different style of Eddie Murphy. This time he's more suave and sophisticated. But Boomerang is loaded with all the hallmarks of Eddie Murphy, that is charm and wit. I find that in this movie he's more suave than he is funny, as lady killer Marcus Graham. And from the opening sequence, when the elevator doors open and the music starts playing, we see Marcus flash that confident smile greeting every woman in the office. And we see just how much of a player Marcus is when he speaks to his secretary and tells her to send a long-stemmed rose to her numerous girlfriends with the same message, thinking only of you. Boomerang has a very rich cast. Robin Givens was perfect as Jacqueline, a female version of Marcus who is as professional but also as ruthless as he is when it comes to the opposite sex. At the time of casting, studios were reluctant to hire Robin Givens because of her troubled marriage to Mike Tyson and the troubled divorce. But you also get perfect casting in the shape of a young Halle Berry, whose star was just ascending at the time, as the lovely and likeable Angela. The girl that any guy would want to bring home to their mama. A woman who actually cares for Marcus and actually wants to see the best for him. Marcus initially sets her up with his friend Gerard, brilliantly played by David Alan Grier, but eventually ends up sleeping with Angela and falling in love with her. There is a brilliant love triangle between the three. Boomerang was written by frequent collaborators of Eddie Murphy, Barry W. Blostein and David Sheffield, who were responsible for the brilliant 1988 vehicle Coming to America and 1996's The Nutty Professor. Boomerang was brilliantly directed by Reginald Hudlin, who was responsible for the classic House Party, and what a follow-up for him. Boomerang features a host of new and old school but legendary talent. We have a guest appearance from Melvin Van Peebles, who is considered to be the godfather of black cinema, Geoffrey Holder, who was one of the creative forces behind The Wiz, and the brilliant stage and screen actress Eartha Kitt. Boomerang has a host of up-and-coming talent who at that time will go on to forge brilliant careers for themselves and be stars in their own right. Marcus's sidekicks, Gerard and Tyler, brilliantly played by David Alan Grier and Martin Lawrence. These guys would supply the comedic laughs in Boomerang. And David Alan Grier is such an underrated talent. I found him to be so funny in this movie. And out of that trio of Marcus, Gerard and Tyler, David Alan Grier's character was my favourite. We see Chris Rock, who was a protege of Eddie Murphy at the time, and also made a brief appearance in Beverly Hills Cop 2. Boomerang also sees a minor appearance by Layla Rashawn, who would reunite with Eddie Murphy after starring with him in his directorial debut, Harlem Nights. Reginald Hudlin assembled a fantastic cast. Reginald Hudlin would reunite with many of his House Party co-stars, including Martin Lawrence. We see brief appearances by Tisha Campbell as one of Marcus's exes. And there is a brilliant Thanksgiving scene starring Bev Drake and John Witherspoon, who also starred in House Party. And the Thanksgiving dinner scene featuring the late great comedic genius John Witherspoon was my favourite. John Witherspoon was hilarious and just stole the show in that scene. Halle Berry's character Angela makes a remark that Gerard's father, played by John Witherspoon, actually looks like Gerard. And you know what? They do look alike. Boomerang would have 3 black actors who would feature in Bond films, Grace Jones, who plays Strong J, played Mayday in A View to a Kill. Jeffrey Holder played Baron Samdi in Live and Let Die. And Halle Berry will play Jinx in Die Another Day. Boomerang is about relationships. Not just the relationships that Marcus has with his women, but also that he has with his friends. And we see these relationships go through their own drama, especially when Marcus sleeps with Angela. And this ruins the relationship that he has with Gerard, who was actually in love with Angela at the time. Boomerang celebrates black culture. And whilst many felt it was unrealistic in its depictions of blacks, it was realistic in the discrimination that blacks face. In particular, when we see a scene where Marcus, Gerard and Tyler go shopping and they encounter a racist store clerk. And the store clerk starred alongside Eddie Murphy as a cop in the 1983 hit Trading Places. But the charismatic cast of Boomerang light up the screen in every scene that they're in. Particularly Eddie Murphy, who shows dramatic range as an actor. This is one of his better performances after the disappointing Another 48 Hours and Harlem Nights. A lot of relationships were formed on a set of Boomerang. Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy would reunite in the 1999 comedy Life. Martin Lawrence and Tisha Campbell, whilst they didn't share any scenes together, they would reunite 6 months later and work on a self-titled sitcom, Martin. Boomerang is supported by a fantastic soundtrack, courtesy of powerhouse production duo Reid and Babyface. And just like House Party, the soundtrack is phenomenal, which introduces us to a young Toni Braxton. Boomerang was number 4 on the Billboard 200 chart. It was on the top R&B hip-hop chart and it sold 3 million copies by 1995. And it has the brilliant End of the Road soundtrack by Boyz II Men, which was number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart for 13 weeks, breaking Elvis Presley's record of 11 weeks for his song Hound Dog. Boomerang also spawned a short-lived TV series based upon the same name, which was released on the BET channel in February 2019, but ended after only 2 seasons. But at 30 years old, Boomerang is a very charming and very clever comedy. And despite having an all-black cast, it has nothing to do with being black. This is a story about love and redemption, and it features one of Eddie Murphy's best performances as an actor. This movie is a classic, and it is just as rich as it ever was, so I'll give this one a very strong 9 out of 10. So guys, that's my review. Thanks for watching as always. Please keep watching because there's going to be more retro reviews. I want you to hit that subscribe button so you can follow this channel. Hit that alarm bell as well so you can get notifications when my videos are going to be uploaded. Give this video a like as well. Leave your comment with what is your favourite scene from Boomerang. And how do you feel about Boomerang 30 years on? Comment down below and I shall see you all in the next film review. Take care.